Yo, 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 what's good, everybody? What's good? This is your boy, JTL, here to do something for y'all late night. I was up watching some stuff and I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and do a video. You know what I'm saying? I was like, bump it. I'm just going to do something. Now, I know for a lot of y'all, but hold on, before I get started, make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. So I'm doing this over here on the network. Also got my other show, Check Me Out Music, so that way it'll be up later for anybody else watch it later on, and Big Out. All right, so I'm sure most of y'all, especially in the hip hop world, the rap world, has seen this post that Vlad put up, right? Where he says he has a confession. He has a confession. Now, before I get into reading some of it, I'm gonna tell y'all, when I first seen it, I was like, come on, it's gotta be some BS. This gotta be some BS. This cannot be real. Ain't no way in the world that Vladtv is gonna jump out the damn window, right? And mess up his whole career. Ain't no way ain't no way Vlad finna do that. Ain't no way in the world. Ain't no way in the world Vlad is finna jump out here, mess up his whole life, mess up his whole career because he just felt like it. Or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I first thought when I first seen this BS. All right. So I'm looking, see DJ Vlad, see the chat mark and all that. So I'm like, it gotta be some BS. It gotta be some BS. So I'm gonna just go through a little bit. First thing, I have a confession. Like, y'all actually believe Vlad was gonna jump on here and say he had a confession. All right, cool. Then I see it says, Rock Nation has been paying me to support Megan. Really? You actually think Vlad's gonna come out there and say that they paying him to support Megan, right? I hope a lot of y'all didn't believe that, because we're gonna get to the other juicy part just in case a lot of y'all ain't seen this. The rest of this, where Vlad and Vladimir shows you that he played a lot of y'all. A lot of people was going with. And thank God I didn't see enough in my lifetime to know better. All right. Then it says they also paid off all the jury members to commit or and they bribed the judge too. Jay-Z did a verse for his grandson's new album. Now think about it. He's saying all of this. They paid off Megan's doctor to lie about the bullet fragments. She was never popped. LA police are all on Jay's payroll, and it doesn't stop with LA, but you are not ready to hear that part. There's a lot of things. And I'm just like, okay, if Vlad was actually trying to tell y'all that this is what happened, this is what went down, I think he would have a little more receipts than they just paid me. You feel what I'm saying? Or they bribed the Jay-Z bribed the judge. Now this is on Academics live, and that's another reason why I'm going live, right? Because in another part it says, and I'm sure a lot of you had already seen it. In another part it says that Jay-Z worked with President Trump to go ahead and get this situation taken care of. Man, we already know Jay-Z ain't rocking with Trump. They was rocking with Harris. You know what I'm saying? They was not rocking with Trump. Then you already know, if you know about Jay-Z and all that, they got Perez on their payroll. She's the president over there at Rock Nation. She was a former co-defendant, or not co-defendant, but a former informant that told on a cartel and brought down a whole cartel. And I ain't gonna lie to you, when Dane first said that, I was like, what is he talking about? Then finally seen it. I'm like, that's kind of wild and crazy. Jay-Z say he represent the streets, but you mean to tell me that you got somebody that used to be an informant running your company? So that was wild. Then you got Sean Holly, whatever the girl is, the lawyer, whatever, that was on the case. And like, you got all these people working with Jay. All this craziness. If you follow the case, you already know damn well what happened in this situation. It was a bunch of BS. It was a shit show. It was a circus. We already know all that. We know what happened. We already know that. Now, this is the wild part. So I'm just looking into it, going about my day, seeing this here and there. And I was like, I'm gonna look into it, because like I said, I thought it was BS. Somebody made a fake page, but apparently this is Vlad's page. I went up to the Twitter, everything, seen all that. This is actually Vlad's page. Now, fast forward to this evening, I'm watching YouTube, just scrolling through about it. I see DJ Academics is live. So I'm like, Let me go to it. Let me see what he's talking about. So I'm gonna bring y'all to it. Once again, make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Let's get to it.
In front of your face, but you can't prove it.
Hold on. Oh, now y'all want to play around. Hold on. What line? Hold on. Y'all give me a second. See, they want to play around with a brother now. They want to play around with a brother now. What line? Hold on. Because this is definitely going to be some juicy stuff. Hold on. What line? Y'all ain't finna just get away with that one right there. Not while I'm trying to show my people something. Y'all bear with me for a second. But like I said, I was going through it, and I'm just like, it's some BS. All right, cool. Here we go. Let me get back to it. All right. Yeah, the commercial shit. Y'all know I ain't paying for that shit. All right.
Interesting. What do y'all think? Well,
now look, so apparently he was also going back and forth with people, which is crazy. So somebody said it's all over for Jay-Z. I keep saying he will be the only guy arrested from the files, the Fall Guy. Vlad says deeper than that. Jay-Z is you know who. It's almost like saying Vladimir or whatever. Not Voldemort. It's almost like saying that. Let's get back to it.
Well, when I seen this, well, let me try to call Vlad. He might answer, he might not.
See this? Say he finna try to call Vlad. He finna try to call Vlad.
Let's see if we get Vlad on the phone.
Hello. Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to connect you.
Vlad is act. Pick up. Why does Vlad have like this police ass thing? Let's see if we can get Vlad on the phone. If he doesn't answer, I'll text him. We'll get him back eventually during the broadcast. Knowing Vlad, he's dropping something today, probably related to it. We'll get to it. Why do I have a... Yo, Vlad don't even trust me with his... Y'all want a dinner with Vlad? Yo, Vlad, you don't trust me with your real number? Is this a Google Voice number he gave me? That's...
Gaddy.
That's critical.
I
just call it Google.
So I'm gonna go up a little bit. Get down.
And I want to play what he said on Sneeko.
To get over, you know?
Company. And then people are attacking you in the mainstream of hip hop. I don't need to get told to go defend you. I'm probably going to say, y'all are attacking my partner. I'm going to go over here and be like, hey, what are y'all saying about my partner? Right? Now, I don't want to come off with like Alex Jones. Everybody knows I'm a math major. I like to stay in logic. So we're going to be very logical. First and foremost, Vlad did actually speak on this. And he did speak on this on Sneeko stream. So Sneeko actually streamed and Vlad called in. And I want to play what he said on Sneeko stream about his tweets because Sneeko actually got him on the phone. Let me see. Sneeko Vlad. Let's see what was said. Right here. Here we go.
To jerk off. Stay on that side. Vlad's calling me. Hey, Vlad, what's going on?
Yeah, what's good?
How you doing, man? I'm on stream right now. Is it okay?
Sure, why not?
Okay, so I saw your tweets about Jay-Z and Roc Nation. Is everything okay? Are you in a safe spot?
Man, people just do not know sarcasm, do they? It's just sarcasm really just goes over people's heads. It really surprises me.
Okay, so you're trolling.
Of course I'm trolling, man. Hey.
Okay.
All right, y'all heard that. For those who, because for a lot of people, they're not really into the red pill manosphere community, so they may not see a lot of this stuff or care to. But what's crazy is, you know, Vlad gonna interview a lot of different people if he think they can get numbers and stuff like that. You know, that's what vultures do. But right there, he tells him he's trolling. But when you look at the stuff that Vlad said, a lot of people like, oh man, Vlad exposing everything. They this, and that. And I'm looking like, man, that shit's so fake. Because I'm looking at it as like somebody just made something fake. Vlad not gonna jump out there like that. So for Vlad to come back and say, no, this is fake, I'm trolling, I already knew that's what was gonna happen. Like, I already knew that. You know what I'm saying? It was fake. So him being like, oh, it's just sarcasm. I'm trying to tell y'all. So a lot of y'all gonna be out here looking crazy with the videos y'all made. Then once y'all see these videos, y'all gonna have to come back and be like, oh snap, we was wrong. Oh my bad. Well, Vlad wrong for that. And it's like, y'all crazy for falling. Matter of fact, the only person I really seen, not saying everybody just fell for, but most people did. But I was watching Choke No Joke not too long ago. And before seeing this, Choke was saying basically the same thing I'm saying. Why would he this? Why would he that? You know what I'm saying? Basically the same thing I was thinking. Choke No Joke said that on his Instagram live. You know, y'all go check Choke out Instagram. You know what I'm saying? You already know what it is with Choke No Joke. You know what I'm saying? You already know how Choke No Joke gonna talk about it. So let's go ahead and get back into it.
Okay, so what's the purpose of this? Is it
changing a verse on the Judge's Grandson's album? Like,
okay?
How is this not obvious?
Yeah, the timing is strange because now he's getting revealed in the Epstein files. So I'm sure especially a lot of people do see how Tory Lanez is innocent.
I guess, man. Do they really? I mean, he was convicted by 12 jurors. His appeal has been denied. Like, come on.
You don't actually, really? You think that Megan Fox is the one, you think that he shot her in the foot?
Megan Stallion?
Megan Stallion.
He said Megan Fox.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about. So
you shot her too?
No. Okay, so. All right, you're just trolling.
Man. Yeah, man. Look, at the end of the day, we don't exactly know what happened, but, you know, when you shoot a woman and she's willing to take the stand and say that that person shot me, that is very hard to get over, you know? And if he really didn't shoot her, then he should have taken the stand and said that. And, you know, I mean, just all the pieces, like, look, like, and he's...
And see, this is what's so messed. I think Vlad pretty much is taking that side because it's the liberal-minded thing to do. You know what I'm saying? But for people who have talked to lawyers and what they said is a lot of times you don't really want to put a person on stand, and because they might mess up their own case. So when you seen all the potholes, the kinks in Kelsey's armor, Meg's armor, they're looking at like there's really no reason to get up on the stand because they're showing that they're lying. It's too many things that show that they're lying, and the things that they did in public was too questionable. So like this is an open and shut case. Then they had the guy come in that was the person that actually seen what happened. They had his testimony. Now the messed up part is that came out afterwards. They alleged that Roc Nation lawyers had took him upstairs, the eyewitness, and came down, and then next thing you know, when it was time for him to testify, he said something else. And this is where I had a beef with Albert, not Preach, but Albert, because he said all what he said, but when it came there, then he was like, oh, you shot your, no, I mean, I said, you screwed yourself by having this guy come up there. If what he was going to say was something different, and it was messed up, because it's like, you mean to tell me you see what the guy said, the police reports and all that, then the audio came out, you mean to tell me he came and said something different? So all of them committed perjury on the stand. If you actually go off everything that they said, the testimony and all that, Kelsey even came out and was like, oh no, you know, I don't know where Dance Bitch came from. I ain't never heard that. Who said that? All of this stuff went against what they said before and what Megan Thee Stallion said. So Vlad is definitely going with that BS on the liberal side. That's where it's BS, because if you're gonna say that about somebody getting convicted, then I guess when the exoneration happened of the Central Park 5, they should be still considered guilty. Like, come on, what kind of BS is that, Vlad?
Talking to Kelsey on the jail phone, and he's apologizing to her, and she's the shooter. How you gonna be in jail and apologize to the person who put you there?
Well, I mean, obviously, maybe they forced his hand, but I did see his bodyguard, his security.
He was in jail.
I did. His security just went public and said the opposite of what the mainstream narrative
not
is.
his security. Kelsey's security, who was not her security the night of the actual incident. That was her security during the trial, and he said that he overheard her saying that. That's the story. And that story is from May of last year. And that appeal that they tried to file was denied.
What about the forensic evidence where it said that she stepped on glass? And that's what the original doctor's report was.
She said that she stepped on glass originally because she said that she didn't want to see everyone arrested. But then when she went to the hospital, so the actual doctor took the stand and said there was bullet fragments. And he pulled those out. And then at first he said, she.
Now you see how he has the cover for so many lies that Meg kept telling. It was just so many lies that kept having to be reversed, had to be cleaned up. And this is supposed to be okay. We got this young brother that's in prison now, even though we seen all the facts and stuff that come out. She lied and said it was this. She lied and said it was this. She lied and said it was that. And then she came on live one time and like, yeah, this did happen to me. But then next thing you know, she, even though she said she stepped on glass, she came back and said she was pop. Then next thing I know, she come back and said, I want to play on there. You want to do all this? Yeah, Tori did do this. And I was just like, yo, what in the world is, and I ain't trying to start no problem with nobody, but I'm just looking at the facts, y'all. I'm just looking at the facts, and this is crazy. I'm just looking at the facts. This is crazy.
He wasn't shot, but then when they filed the appeal, he said that Kelsey was a shooter and he hit her arm and the gun fell to the ground and fired 2 more times.
Vlad, if Rock Nation just pressed you, you could say that too. If you got the call from Rock Nation, be honest.
Have you ever shot a gun before?
Of course.
Okay. Have you ever dropped a gun on the ground and it fired twice?
I have not.
Can you imagine any situation with a gun where you drop it on the ground and it fires 2 times?
Okay.
I'm asking you, as someone who shoots guns.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think, you gotta be careful about certain words and certain things. I think the Glock nizzle, if I'm not mistaken, has a hair trigger. Or is it no safety? Something like that. I haven't been around in a while. Ain't been around one of those in a while. But if I'm not mistaken, you have certain firearms that do have hair triggers. So if he's saying that, you know what I'm saying? Like, of course, if you somebody who deal with weapons, you most likely gonna probably be careful and stay away from firearms that got hair triggers, right? But anyways, I digress. It don't matter. The crazy thing is the fact that Vlad is lying. But let me see if I can scoot up to he's trolling, and it's not something funny. But let me scroll up when he calls at
time is if you work in IT.
After this commercial break, let me get this up off screen and bam.
About 2 years from now, 2 or 3 years. So yeah, what's about had questions, and that's supposed. AI works off 2 things. And billionaires, there was rumors that they don't seem that crazy no more.
All right, here we go.
Okay. I think you guys get what I'm getting at. Just to read something about this, the Epstein case fed directly into the rise of QAnon, a conspiracy movement built on the belief that the hidden elite was operating above the law. Does anybody in 2026 now believe?
And one more real quick, actually, he's another person that believes Tory is innocent. So I don't know how his dynamic works with Vlad or whatever, but he actually believes he's innocent. So do I. But let me get to it.
After seeing these Epstein files.
Oh, look, the evidence.
It's easy to call people idiots when the information and the full pattern and the proof isn't always there. But this is going to be the main thing of my, whole spiel. Trust your gut. Just trust your gut. Whatever way you fall, just trust your gut. And I'm the guy who's I'm hard facts. But if you see a lot of pattern recognition and you keep seeing a lot of, I got Vlad on the phone. Here we go.
All right.
Vlad.
Yeah, what's good?
I'm on stream, brother. You're the topic of conversation.
Yeah, you think?
Vlad, what's going on?
Man, look, if you look at like my previous tweets, I was talking about how ridiculous the whole news cycle was, because they were bringing back this old video from May of Kelsey's bodyguard saying that she really was the shooter, and people like, oh, look, the evidence is in. And I'm like, this is a tweet from May. And he wasn't even the bodyguard that night. He was the bodyguard who claims he overheard something during the court proceedings, whatever. And people were like, oh, that's because Jay-Z, he bought off all the jurors. I said, okay, that's an interesting idea for a tweet. So I created this whole ridiculous tweet with every conspiracy theory laid out one after the other, to the point of even saying that Jay-Z did a verse for the judge's grandson.
Yeah, that was reaching, of course.
You think that was reaching?
Well, hey, listen, I knew this was a satirical tweet from the get-go. I was just speaking about the tweet on stream here. And by the way, Vlad, I'm telling you, you fucked the hip-hop game up with this. Usually I get about 15,000 people watching me. I have 31,000 right now listening to me. Just let you know, okay? And it's all because of you. So we got to get down to some hard facts. Now,
okay.
I'll tell you two issues. And by the way, I've also said it. Me and you, we trade podcast appearances. I get on Vladtv, you come on my show. Our next podcast has to be solely about this, because there's so much to talk about. There's so much to talk about. Now, I had two issues, and you could, we'll get into real depth, like I guess when we sit with each other. But my two issues was this: I think you sent and fired off this tweet because you slightly have an axe to grind still about Tory. Not that you have a problem with him, but people were skeptical of you of when you predicted an outcome, this and third. And I thought you putting up this tweet made an incident so big. Now it's like really kicking his back in for someone who is going through, like, he's incarcerated. It's not like you actually think he did it and he's free. He's incarcerated. He's trying to fight for his freedom or at least some type of relief. And I feel like this is kicking a man when he's down. Okay. Second,
hold on. Can I address the first one, or do you want to tell me?
No, go ahead.
Now, real quick, Act says some real ish. Like, the man that's been trying to fight for his life. Vlad is taking this as a joke. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, dog, you see somebody is really trying and fighting against this situation. Whether you agree with it or not, if you can be somebody that can just be logical, use critical thinking, if you actually just look at, the facts, just look at all the facts, all the evidence, right? If you still look at the facts and things that don't make sense to you, and you still sway to Tory's guilty, I'm not gonna lie, it'll be difficult for me to understand how. If you actually look at the facts, you look at the sides of the story that was not on his side, where too many lives came, too many times the story has been changed. You get what I'm saying? Then it's kind of hard to. But if you take out these people, right, and you just put it as somebody you don't know, change the names around, right? Change it to, and this is why I get people. When you look at Trayvon Martin, Garrison, and George Zimmerman, the Buster, when you look at the facts of the case, it's easy to be like, oh, okay, because you like, it's BS. But take those names out, right? And I'm just saying that if you want to be biased, but take those names out and just look at the evidence. Let's say you don't know that's them two. You don't know Tory and this person over here. Just look at the facts. It might be a little difficult for you to just be like, oh, no. You get what I'm saying?
Okay. Tory has been convicted by a jury of 12 people and has been sentenced. He filed an appeal and it was rejected. Now, you could say I'm kicking him while he's down or whatever. He has gone through the legal process and it didn't work out, which is what I've been saying the whole time. I don't have an axe to pick with Tory. I don't know him. We've never spoken. I ran into his dad and we had a respectful conversation. Me and his dad have each other's phone numbers. I said he can come to my show at any point. Tory can come do Vladtv if he wants to call in or whatever else. I publicly said I feel really bad over what happened with him over the stabbing incident. But it's just like this constant cycle of like, oh, it was really someone else. He never did it. He's the, Rock Nation. manipulated everyone is just like a ridiculous theory. You know, in the same way that I've been talking about the Nicki Minaj's of the world and so forth, this is just the same thing. I don't have an axe to pick with Tory. I hope Tory does come home sooner than expected. I've always said this.
Well, the reason why I say you possibly have an axe to grind, and it appears so, and it feels like kicking him while he's down, because like there has always been a controversial case where not all of the constituents or the citizens in the United States or viewing public agree. Like, for example, with OJ Simpson, would you go as far to say anybody who believes that OJ did it, they're an idiot, or they're just like lunatics? Because that's what this kind of comes across. I feel like there's a particular thing about the Tory thing. Not that I really don't think you have anything against him, but I know you, Vlad. When Vlad gives his opinion and he's right, Vlad loves to be like, I told you so. I think this is a told you so moment. Yet again, just is blown up beyond that because now people are making a lot of other assumptions.
I mean, I guess you want to, you can frame it how you want to frame it. At the end of the day, this got triggered off of Kelsey's bodyguard saying that she was the shooter because he overheard her say it during a conversation. You can check. This whole thing entered the cycle once again. And it was all over like the blogs and everything else like that. And it's like, yo, I don't want Tory to stay in prison. I think he's done his time. He went through a horrific stabbing incident. I hope he comes home early. I have nothing against Tory. He can come do the show. Me and him have had one DM exchange, and that was it. Okay. That was it. That's our only interactions. But at the end of the day, this was triggered off of the lunacy coming back into the cycle again. At the end of the day, you know that he filed an appeal and it was struck down, right? But then again, only 2% of appeals ever go through.
Yeah. And again, these...
And see, this is what I'm saying. Like, for somebody like Vlad, I'm going to say this. I'm going to just keep it funky. I'm going to keep it 100. Somebody like Vlad, and the reason why I will say he's a vulture to the culture is because he don't look at black people and things that we question the way we do, because even though he's been around hip hop, he doesn't have to 24/7, 365 walk in our shoes as black folks. So a lot of things, he's not going to see it the same way. You get what I'm saying? He's not going to trust and believe that, it's certain conspiracies that does happen towards black folks. He's not going to see that. He's not black. It has to be cut and dry for him to believe it. He don't see the nuances. Our everyday lives and what we have to go through, we have to be cautious. We have to be careful. Just like Paul Mooney said on the Dave Chappelle show, guys. So everybody want to be an M until it's time to be an M. Meaning, it's cool to indulge in the hip hop culture that black people made. It's cool to talk the slang that black people made. It's cool to move how we move, have fun like we do. You know what I'm saying? The sauce that we add to everything, the flavor that we add to everything. But then when it's time for somebody to get blamed, get dealt with, and it's us, people like Vlad run the other way. They run the other way because they don't see the same things we see coming. Coming from the hood, you see the things different coming. And I ain't trying to be, disrespectful to nobody, because this is something serious I'm about to say. When you see the violence that has happened at, I believe it was the Ariana Grande concert out there in Vegas, and rest in peace to the ones that lost their lives, and God bless the ones that have to live with that trauma every day. You saw what happened. I think it was in Columbus or something like that. No, I'm sorry, Colorado or somewhere. And it was a Batman movie showing. And that was violence that happened in that theater from a lone man, you know what I'm saying, shooter or whatever. Rest in peace to the ones that lost their lives there. And God bless the ones who got to deal with that trauma every day. Now, see, in the hood, we try our best to pay attention to certain things they don't pay attention to. Like a white dude walking around with a book bag on, baseball cap, and some dark shades. He walk around our community, we looking at him like what he got going on. You feel what I'm saying? But no disrespect, in their community, they may not see that something. He might just be going hiking. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't trying to be funny, but they may look at him like, oh, he just going hiking. We looking like, bro, what you got going on? And then you find out a lot of times them dudes that be doing the pew-pew be dudes dressed like that. So it's just certain things we pay attention to differently in our community because it may have cost somebody their life the first time. You get what I'm saying? So he's not gonna see it the same way we see it, and that's why I'm like, he a vulture. He's just eating off our culture.
These are things that the reasonable people who still have doubts, they're not denying. But and so okay, we get it on that Tory part, but I think the bigger part of even why I think this kind of like it broke through the cycle. It's not that you just had an opinion on Tory, is that by lumping this idea of, oh, Jay-Z did this, Rock Nation did this, and then basically saying, well, if you believe that, like, come on, like this is pure sarcasm. There's a lot of really interesting coincidences or real conversation we can have about Rock Nation and Jay-Z. And while you lump it in here, now people are saying, well, all right, we get the Tory part. Like I do get the Tory part where you're saying you're putting out some facts. Hey, he was convicted. Hey, the appeal didn't go through. And the video you guys are talking about was a old press conference that referred and referenced a bodyguard that wasn't a bodyguard that night. And also that bodyguard claimed that their proof was that they overheard a conversation while during the trial when they were bodyguard for Kelsey, and she allegedly.
It's all hearsay, right?
Yes.
It's all hearsay. Hearsay is not a reason to let someone out of prison. It's just hearsay, and in a court of law, it holds very little, usually no weight at all.
Okay, but the Jay-Z and Meg Thee Stallion stuff, and well, really Rock Nation. That's where I think there's certain things that come into play that becomes a little bit, again, for someone like me, and I try to stick to the facts, but pattern recognition, sometimes it feels a little bit more than coincidental. And I think when you mentioned Jay and Rock Nation and how they move, I think even when Nicki's talking about them, I don't think Nicki's out there. I think Nicki's actually speaking facts. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, bro. Nicki's unhinged. She's always been unhinged.
Whoa, I'm not talking about everything she's saying.
Get out of here. Stop it. Me and you talked about her unhinged behavior.
No. I'm not saying about.
No, you can't use Nicki as like the.
I'm not defending every.
Rational thought.
Okay, I'm not.
And see, and that's another thing that's
I
crazy.
dare you to let me build you a completely.
That's another thing that's crazy for Vlad to be acting like that, because, bruh, at the level that Nicki's at, you gonna try to act like Nicki just totally lost it and she don't got some inside scoop stuff. Then when you look at what happened with who's the other person going against them, it was they escaped my mind right now. But with the situation that Nicki's going off on, her label mate Drake. Now I don't agree with Drake doing the lawsuit thing. You took an L, because I'm not gonna sit there and lie to you. I do think with him, Nicki, and Kendrick being on these large labels like they are, once you get to a certain point and you have a track record of winning, they're going to do the best that they can to make sure you keep winning. Like I'll take it to a lower scale. Say you play sports, you know what I'm saying, and 80% of the time you have a great game, whether it's football or basketball in high school. Let's just go high school, college. More than likely, the coach is going to keep putting you in and keep, you know what I'm saying? You're the star player. You're the franchise player. So, of course, they want to keep playing you. So it's the same thing with the music business or business period. This person, or if you look at Adam Sandler, he's had some terrible movies here and there, but they still kept wanting him to win. You look at, what's your boy name that played Iron Man? Can't think of his name right now, but your boy that played Iron Man. For the longest, he was messing up. Robert Downey Jr. He was messing up. They still wanted to see him win. Eddie Murphy, all his movies weren't making money like he used to, but they still wanted to see him win. So where Drake messed up is, of course, suing his label. It was not right at all, because you're suing the same system that helps you win. So if Nicki, Drake, and all these people have the inside, I don't see how. Okay, Vlad. Okay.
Rock Nation and how they move. I think even when Nicki's talking about them, I don't think Nicki's being I don't think Nikki's out there. I think Nikki's actually speaking facts. I'll be honest with you.
Nah, bro. Nikki's unhinged. She's always been unhinged.
Whoa, I'm not talking about everything she's saying.
Get out of here. Stop it. Me and you talked about her unhinged behavior.
No. I'm not saying about.
No, you can't use Nikki as like the.
I'm not defending every.
Rational thought.
Okay, I'm not defending.
And real quick, this is another thing. Vlad is not the person that can really talk, bro. Like, with what you just did, then how you put everybody's business out there, what happened with you and Marlon, you put his business out there. Rest in peace to Young Noble from the Outlaws. You put his business out there. Like, could have, it was $2,000. You put out how much you offered him, put out about the conversation, and you did not feel bad to what $2,000 was going to do for his life. You don't know what he may have been dealing with, but you put all this stuff out there, and he stayed doing it. So would you really trust him? But like I said, I'm just showing this because it's crazy. And if y'all want to watch the rest of the ridiculousness, you see it down here, say trolling no truth academics calls DJ after his alarming tweets about Jay-Z. And it's around the 56-minute mark, 50 seconds. If you want to, go back and watch the rest of this ridiculousness. But I'm just going to go ahead and say this. Vlad is a vulture, eating off the culture, and it's messed up. You're a roach with it. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad because so many people, believe in this and all that. And we do have to be careful about getting to this place where we just jumping out the window. Got to start using critical thinking. Now, a lot of people may not have, instantly seen it and thought otherwise, like I did or Choke No Joke did. But it's like, come on. And Choke was also saying he thinks some other things behind the scene that why he did it. And things like this and try to make it like, oh, that's just crazy, ridiculous. You never know where that's also coming from. You know what I'm saying? And it's just weird. You know what I'm saying? So everybody, y'all just make sure when y'all seeing this stuff, man, don't just jump out the window ready to crash out. Make sure you actually, paying attention to what's going on and doing your best to use your thinking cap, your critical thinking. Don't just be jumping out the window believing stuff, especially Vlad. You know how he get down, dog. You already know how Vlad get down. So y'all be careful about that. All right. It's your boy JTL, aka Big Out. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, check out also the music channel. Check me out, music with JTL. You know what I'm saying? And if you're checking out on another channel, make sure y'all check out the JVJ Network. Go over there and subscribe as well. And then you can also go to my Facebook page, Out From the North 18, and follow there. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have to try to keep covering stuff and hopefully talk to our people, to be smart about everything. Hey, what's up? What's up, Miss Lady? How you doing? You all late and stuff here. I did almost a whole 40-minute stream talk about this ridiculous with Vladtv making all this BS and trolling, talking about some Rock Nation paid them out. Like, get the hell out of here, bro. But like I said, man, appreciate you for showing up. Anybody else that shows up a little later, you know what I'm saying? You know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, and your boy is definitely up out of here. Chill.